Hi, yeah. So what's your name?
Eric.
Eric. And Eric, you're here for your family, with your family for Sacramento?
Sure am.
And how much did you have to pay to get in here?
Paid $15.
And is $15 like a, do you think if $15 is a lot of money, or it's just not a big deal?
Well, no, it's a lot of money, especially if you come back here multiple times during the week. It'll add up to you.
And are you aware that about $4 million of state bond money went in to fix these roads up here and widen them down here?
I didn't know that until you let me know that. Not at all.
Yeah, that's the thing. They spent $77,000 last year on a lobbyist alone. The San Francisco Botanical Garden Society did. And these people don't actually live here, but they don't pay when they go in every day. I mean, they have if you go behind the Hall of Flowers, the gates are open every single day. And they're driving in and out. Their volunteers come in and out. They don't pay even though they're from the East Bay.
I didn't know
so
that.
Their members don't need to pay. There's a fountain down here. I think I mean, I don't know how much was put on this fountain, but for some reason it doesn't work. I think it's because they didn't sell enough memorial plaques yet. And back behind here, they went in and put in a $14 million office building. They're calling a Center for Sustainable Gardening. And all of this is done really without any, there were no meetings about this fee. There was a meeting 2 years ago, and they tried to put a fee in for residents and for non-residents, but the residents rebelled, so they got rid of the resident fee. Then the non-resident fee was voted down. Then they lobbied again the next year, and then they got it through, and then they tried to repeal it last year, but the system is too corrupt. Even though the budget analyst, Harvey Rose, said the figures were optimistic because they're claiming like something like $500,000 off of ticket revenues after expenses, and he pointed out it's like 60 or 80 cents on the dollar goes towards hiring these people to collect these tickets. These people playing the tickets are paid less than it costs to get in here for your family an hour. They're paid about $11 an hour, but actually the city pays that. So the city is actually endorsing hiring non-working non-union workers, and the labor unions are endorsing it also because they supported this in a backdoor deal. I mean, it's really an astonishing situation that we have here. It's kind of all across the state. They claim, well, there's no money, and then they use this kind of crap. It's the same thing, you know, with the Oakland Museum. They privatized that. A lot of the other things. I think this thing really needs to stop, and we really need some more community democracy. And like people like you can afford that, but there's a lot of, you know, people here that don't have documentation or can't afford to, and why should they be able to say, okay, 4 o'clock, nobody else can come in here without any discussion whatsoever with the public? I mean, those hours are set. Everything is done in a way that's completely undemocratic here.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I had no idea. I found out about the 4 o'clock thing as soon as I showed up.
Yeah, I mean, people show up here and then they say, oh, it's open till 5, but it's only, that means you're supposed to leave here by 5 according to them. They stop collecting money. And they actually wanted to have it closed on Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving until they got, I think they got some feedback, and they realized that wasn't a good idea because they couldn't collect money. So they said, why are we gonna have this place open if we can't collect money? Because it's been their dream for more than 20 or 30 years now.
So what, shut it down?
No, they want people. They think people should come in here. It's a museum, and people should come in here and they should pay. You know, and it's unreasonable because it's, you know, it's the decision of just a few very wealthy people, none of whom live here, I believe. Actually, the trustees don't live here. They're not open to any sort of discussion. The woman who runs the place is a lawyer from Piedmont. She makes 6 figures, and she comes in here and works. And most of these people at the Botanical Garden Society don't even work here. And nothing is open, and the books are sealed because it's a nonprofit. So even though they're administering public space, you know, they can do whatever they want to with their money and give however money or however little they do. They don't pay any rent, and they don't pay for any gardeners. They have one guy pays for one gardener. One wealthy patron pays for one gardener, provided there are 10 gardeners. But you never see 10 gardeners, 11 gardeners in here that I've seen.
Who keeps up the place?
Who keeps up the place? The nonprofit, and then they have city gardeners. The city gardeners are on a city contract.
Okay.
Okay.